Morning, everyone. This is Wednesday, January 17th, 2023. The time is now 10:06. We are at the operational board meeting for the Eisenhower Emergency Communications Center, IKE 911. We have called to order at 10:06. Mr. Secretary, can you have a roll call?
Yes, sir. Chief Mills.
Yes.
Chief Bronow.
Yes.
Commander Diaz is in for Chief Willis for the record.
Yes.
And Mayor Thompson.
Here.
And Deputy Chief Martin here. Sir, we have a quorum.
All right. Can we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Have a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Number 5, introduction of news, media, and guests. I don't see any news. As always, we have Mr. Joe Dusabella from Maywood Homeland Security, and I'd like to welcome our newly appointed fire chief for the village of Broadview, Chief Derek Bryant, for his first IKE meeting. He's sitting observing, and he'll be filling the role very shortly in his new capacity. Number 6, public comment. I have received none, Mr. Secretary.
No, I've received no communication.
Okay. Number 7, approval of minutes. Can I have a motion for the approval of minutes from the operational IKE board meeting, December 20th, 2023?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, it's been properly moved by Chief Bronow, seconded by Mayor Katrina Thompson. Roll call, please.
Yes. Mayor Thompson.
Yes.
Chief Mills.
Yes.
Chief Bronow.
Yes.
Commander Diaz.
Yes.
Deputy Chief Martin, yes. Sir, that passes 5-0.
All right, thank you. Number 8, the expense report.
Good morning, Francisco Reyes, the Director of the IKE 911 Center. Expense report for the last month stands at a balance of $971,915.85. We had a total of $738 that we paid out in withdrawals. Most of them were for Christmas-related stuff, a couple of monthly fees, and we took in surcharges that totaled $32,088.82. Does anybody have any questions of any of the expenses? Added the receipts for all the,
Any questions for anyone on the board?
No questions.
Can we have a motion to
I'll make
approve
a
the
motion.
expenses?
I'll make a motion to approve the expenses, $738.68.
Okay, I second. It's been properly moved to approve these expenses by Deputy Chief Martin, second by myself, Chief Mills. Can I have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mayor Thompson.
Yes.
Chief Mills.
Yes.
Chief Bronow.
Yes.
Commander Diaz.
Yes.
And Deputy Chief Martin, yes. Sir, that passes 5-0.
All right. Number 9, the director's report.
okay? So in December of 2023, the IKE 911 Center received 5,783 calls, generating 2,756 documented calls. In comparison to December of last year, the center received 6,499 calls, generating 2,930 documented calls. Calls received were down, while documented calls were slightly up. In 2023, the IKE 911 Center received a total of 77,768 phone calls and 39,646 calls for service. Broadview Telecommunicators will be going to arbitration on their contracts. We gave out 2 honorable mentions last month, or earlier this month, to TCO Angelica Diego and TCO Pajewski. On January 1st, New Year's Day, at approximately 2:20 in the morning, we received several calls into the IKE 911 Center reporting of multiple subjects shot. That occurred at 1503 St. Charles Road in Maywood. TCO Diego and TCO Pajewski systematically gathered information and quickly dispatched both police and medical assistants to the call. They were tasked with making numerous call-outs for additional on-scene detectives, mutual aid ambulance, ILEA support, response from surrounding towns, as well as ISP evidence technicians, and did so in a methodical way. Although the call was a very chaotic and tragic one, they were able to persevere and perform their duty at a high degree. For that, the dispatch center thanks them. And finally, our priority dispatch EMD software protocol is done with our onboarding. A timeline has been put together, and pending any issues, the software will be integrated into the IKE Center by May of 2024.
Can you look at my drawer and get my pen?
All right, Director Reyes, just for everyone's understanding, can you give us a quick definition? Your bullet point 2, you said the center received 6,499 calls, generating 2,930 documented calls. Can you just?
Yep, so we got a total of 6,490 phone calls that came into the station, into the center.
Okay.
And from those 6,500 calls, that generated 2,930 documented calls. So where an officer actually responded, either did a matter record report, as we say, or an actual report that had to be followed up with investigations.
That's fire and police?
That's both fire and
Both
police,
villages.
correct, for both towns.
Anyone have questions for Director Reyes?
I do. Now that we have our fire chief that was appointed, congratulations, Chief Bryant. I know conversation had taken place as it relates to how we dispatch for fire. And I didn't see that in any of the reports. And so I would like that to be noted, that we have those ongoing conversations as it relates to how fire is dispatched in the IKE Center. So that we don't lose track of what takes place. It
Okay.
needs to be a conversation that's ongoing. So if it's tools or resources or the things that they need, that we need to purchase, that's got to come to this board so that the dispatchers are qualified to dispatch fire like they did on the police side.
Okay.
So to make sure that we stay transparent in the work that we have to do to be accountable for police and fire in the IKE Center. So I appreciate that if you can update, when you report out, that you're reporting out conversations of where the updates are.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you.
Will do.
Touch on that, Mayor. We have just started with Fire Chief Bryant having some conversation that Chief Bryant has brought to our attention, the things he want to say, so we'll include all that.
Okay.
And some paperwork from other agencies to kind of look into.
Okay,
And we'll start putting that as well.
all right, I appreciate that, thank you.
Mayor. Anyone else?
Not a question, thank you. Not a question, just a comment. I want to thank you, Director, for reaching out to me about the opportunity to be present when you presented these honorable mentions. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to. I did not receive the message soon enough, but I'm sure that went over well. Thank you to those members as well as the rest of your staff for what they do.
Thank you.
Nothing like having something thrown in your lap at a moment's notice and having to deal with it. So kudos to them. Thank you.
Thank you.
And just to piggyback off that, we will do a better job. I know Director Reyes came up last minute, but Lieutenant Dent and who else came?
Lieutenant Dent and Lieutenant Farrell.
Yeah, they were present, but we'll do a better job, at least a day notice to you all, because with honorable mention presentation, we try to schedule with their work and things like
Right,
that. But
yeah, that would
just give ample time.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's important for
Sure.
the staff to see that we appreciate them.
Yes.
It's one thing to hear, it's another thing to see.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. All right, that's number 9. Number 10, new business. Westcom discussion, statistics. Have we heard anything, Director Reyes, or?
We have not heard anything from West Suburban. We have not heard anything else from West Suburban Consolidated, from Brian Staunton or anything since our last communication. They're still waiting, I believe, to get meetings together with the villages, but we have not gotten any new updates from them.
So Chief, I have an update. So
Okay.
last week, the mayors and I met regarding this matter. We are going to call a meeting with all the municipalities that's involved, including the fire and police chiefs to be, and the village managers or administrators to be a part of that conversation. I did submit over to Chief Bryant and Chief Mills, and I believe Chief Martin may have been copied on it, I'm not sure, of the contract that
Yes.
that we have. So we all need to go through ours on the Broadview side, and I know Mayor Booker has it as well for you all to have that conversation with the village of Maywood. And then once, I guess, we come up with what it should look like or what we perceive it to be, just so for a matter of record, we're talking about maybe having a feasibility study done on like what's probable cause for this to take place. And if we have to ask for an amendment or an extension on the grant that was received, I believe that they're in position to ask for that amendment going until we can have these conversations. But it's a lot to consider, like space and all of those things, and then maybe bringing in some other municipalities that came up in the conversation as well, and having a full, like a real, off-site type dispatch center. Not saying that's the direction we're going, but we need to look at the contract and get input from the leadership on what that would mean to each municipality. And when I say municipality, I'm specific with Broadview and Maywood. Okay? So we'll just communicate that to leadership with the chiefs on, how we move through the direction with both municipalities' attorneys at the table as well.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Anyone else questions for the Westcom discussion?
No questions, thank you, Mayor.
Looks like we'll leave that on the agenda.
Stays on?
Yes,
Yeah.
we don't know how it's gonna.
We have moved to old
Yes.
business then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, number 11, old business, A and B, update from council establishing IKE 911 Emergency Joint Agency as an independent agency and the rewriting the IGA between the villages of Maywood and Broadview. Councilor?
Yes, thank you. After the last meeting, I did email Attorney Jerusik on, I believe it was December 20th, to follow up and see if he had any comments related to my prior email. And if the board recalls, my prior email to Attorney Jerusik was essentially stating that I thought that there were certain items that we needed to have a discussion on and come to some sort of accord before we could actually finalize any sort of even proposed amendments from the Village of Broadview side. There's a lot of operational concerns to consider, concerns as it relates to how the employees would then become employees of the IKE independently versus employees of the specific villages. And there was some details that I felt needed to be discussed before we could finalize our proposed changes. I have not yet heard back from Attorney Jerusik, so I will send another follow-up email.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Attorney Tiffany?
No
Commander
questions.
Diaz?
I'm sorry.
Chief? No? Okay. Okay, number 12, can I have a motion for adjournment?
So move.
Second.
Okay, been properly moved by Mayor Thompson, second by Chief Brownell. It is now 10:19. The IKE 911 meeting has been adjourned. We will
All
go.
in
Oh, sorry.
all in
Yes,
favor?
all in favor.
Aye.
We'll go directly into we did not have a December JETSB Joint Emergency Telephone System Board meeting, so we have that on our agenda for today. So at this point, we can call the order for this meeting at 10:20. Roll call, sir.
Yes. What was the time?
10:20?
Thank you, sir. Okay, Mayor Thompson,
Here.
Chief Mills,
Yes.
Chief Brownell,
Here.
Commander Diaz is here in place of Chief Willis,
Yes.
present, Deputy Chief Martin, present. We have a quorum.
All right. We have no new info for the JETSB. It's the same agenda as we just discussed under the operational board meeting. At this time, we are scheduled for our next JETSB meeting in March. Does anyone on the board have any comments or anything for the JETSB?
No, sir.
And I've received nothing for public comment for this meeting either,
Okay.
for the record.
That's right. Thank you. Since there's no new business or old business as it was previously discussed, I would move to number 9 and have a motion for adjournment.
So move.
Okay. I second. Probably motion by Mayor Thompson, second by myself, Chief Mills, for the adjournment at 10:22 hours. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It might be the quickest meeting I've ever attended in my entire career. I
We
just
got
wanna
somebody
say-
to beat.